Okay, you guys have a quiz tomorrow in here. Shh, y'all. You don't need your computer open. Shut them, please. You guys have a quiz tomorrow in here. This quiz is going to be about 30 minutes long. We've never had a 30-minute long quiz in here, right? Normally they're like quick 10 minutes, 4 questions. This is going to be a lot longer because you don't have a test over this unit. All right? The quiz, this worksheet. And if you have attempted this worksheet, you'll know you should have questions. Okay? Not every question on here is easy. There are some questions that I looked at them and I'm like, oh. I have already posted the key to this or Ms. Dang did, in Schoology. So tonight, if you haven't done any of this, right now is not going to be a really good time to copy all my work down. Okay? If we're doing the problems, yes. But when I go over the answers, you can do that on your own time as far as copying the work down. Today, what I need you to do is, 1, ask questions. I'm only going to spend about 20 minutes on this because after that, I am going to go over what your project is. Okay? And we're going to get started. Every class has had about 10 minutes to get started on their project today. So, which problems would you like me to go over? I will do about 5 of them. Number 5. Got it. What else? 6, 2, and 8. All right, on the back page, what do you want me to go over? Good morning. How are you? Good. All right, perfect. Thank you. 10. What else? 12. What else? 14. Okay. If y'all can please look up, close your mouths, because again, you get it, great. The people around you might not. Don't distract them. All right, I will tell you the answer to number 1. I'm going to give you the answers, but you have to go in Schoology and look at the work if you didn't do them. The answer to number 1 is 141.7 meters squared. For number 2, find the area of a triangle. What did I give you here? Side, side, side. As a reminder, when you have side, 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 the formula you're going to use is Heron's formula. S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. How do you find S? You have to add all these together, divide by 2. S is perimeter divided by 2. So 10 plus 15 plus 20 divided by 2 gives me 45 over 2, bless you, which is 22.5. From there, I'm just going to subtract 22.5 minus 10, 22.5 minus 15, and 22.5 minus 20. And put that in Desmos, and your answer is 72.6. This says to round to the 10th. And then don't forget your units of yards squared. Tomorrow, before you turn in your quiz to me, please make sure every single thing you have boxed has a unit attached to it. Okay? The answer to number 3 is 26 inches squared. And the answer to number 4 is C. Do I have any questions besides that? Okay, again, if you don't have this all written down, it's in Schoology. You can look at it on your own time. Number 5, somebody asked about number 5. It says find the area of a rectangle with the perimeter of 70 centimeters if the width is 15. So if my width is 15, what else do I know? The other side is 15. So how much of the perimeter have I used? So 70 minus 30 is 40. But what do I got to do? Why divide by 2? Because there's 2 lengths. So 40 divided by 2 is 20 and 20. Do we know the length? Do we know the width? What are we going to do now? Multiply. Length times width or base times height. Doesn't matter which one's which. So what is 20 times 15? 300 centimeters squared. Bless you. Okay? 6. Questions? Alright. Number 6, there are 2 ways to do this. I'm going to do this both ways. Look up. You don't have to write both ways, but I'm going to do it both ways. It tells you that this is an equilateral triangle. So what do I know about every side? Hey, y'all. Do you agree? Shh, boys, ladies, while I'm talking, please don't talk. Do you agree I have side, side, side? Can I find the area just like we did? Yeah. Could I do S equals 22 plus 22 plus 22 divided by 2? That gives me 33. And then to find A, don't you do, I do 33 times, what's 33 minus 22? 11 times 11 times 11. And get my answer.
Is the other one SAS?
You could do SAS too, honestly. We'll do that. There's 3 different ways to do this. So I got 209, it says round to the 10th, 0.6 inches squared. You could do SAS. I'm going to do base 1/2 base times height, which is actually SAS, honestly. What is my base here? 22. What is the height? What type of triangle is that right there? This is 60. This would be 30. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. What would be down here? 11. So what is this long leg? What is my height going to be? 11 root 3. So this is another way you could have done it. And you would have gotten 121 root 3 or 209.6. Jason also said you could do side angle side. Because what do you know the angles are? 60. So you could have done 1/2, 22, 22 sine of 60. And that would also give you the right answer.
Wait, so the answer can also be 121 root 3?
Yeah, 121 root 3. That's the exact answer. It told you to round, so you would put that in the calculator. So if you got 121 root 3, you just need to put it in the calculator. Okay? Alright. Y'all did not ask about 7, but I'm going to go over real quick just one thing. How do I find this base right here? This is my base 2. How do I find my base 1 right here? It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. What is this 60 right here? Do y'all agree that's my long leg? That's 6. So how do I go backwards to find the short leg? What is 6 divided by root 3? Be careful. 6 root 3 divided by 3 would be? No. 6 divided by 3 is? 2 root 3. Does that make sense? If this is 2 root 3, what's this? Oh, because it's isosceles. It says it's isosceles. What's this over here as well? So how would I find this base up here? I'm going to do 25 minus what? 4 root 3. And that's my base 1. What's my base 2? It is. So 1/2 base 1 is 25 minus 4 root 3. Plus base 2 is just 25. What's the height? 6. Does that make sense? I got 129.2 meters squared. Again, if this is your first time even looking at this paper, please do these tonight. Go over it. Don't make the quiz tomorrow the first time you do some of these. Okay? Last one on the first page is Number 8. If the area of a rhombus is 186 millimeters squared, find the angle. And honestly, until I read that hint, I was sitting here like, do I really want to do the diagonal? No, because I don't know any of my diagonals. What do I do? The sides are all 15. So it tells you use side angle side formula. What is side angle side formula? Sine of the angle. However, this is a rhombus. So what am I not going to include in this formula? Don't do the 1/2. 1/2 is only for triangles. So I do the side times the side times the sine of your angle. My area is 186. 15 times 15 times sine of x. What do I do first? What's 15 times 15? 225. And then what am I going to do with that? So I'm going to divide. Are y'all okay with me? I don't have a lot of room, so I'm just doing that in one step. That leaves me the sine of x equals 186 over 225. Sorry, I turned it around. It was bothering me. How do I get x by itself? I have to inverse to get rid of the sine. And again, anytime you do SOHCAHTOA, what do you need to make sure about your calculator? Degree mode. And when I put that in the calculator, I got 55.8 degrees. What questions can I answer?
How would I put the negative sign?
In Desmos, remember you have the inverse button right underneath it, right here. Yeah. Just make sure you're in degree mode. So I would do 186 divided by 225. 225. There you go. Okay. All right. Turning over our paper. The answer to 9 is C. The answer to 10, somebody had a question about 10. It says a rectangle with a width W and a length W plus 4. So I'm just going to draw this right here. W and W plus 4. How would the perimeter of the rectangle change if the length was changed to W plus 12, but the width stayed the same? So my width is going to stay W, but this is going to change to W plus 12. Well, what happens from here to here? It's adding 8. But why is C not my answer?
Because we needed times by 2. Yeah.
It's perimeter. When you count the perimeter, how many times do you count this width? So it's adding 8 here, and it's adding 8 here to the perimeter. So D is my answer. Does that make sense? Okay. For 11, nobody asked about it, but it's 1,600 centimeters squared. Again, this is in Schoology with work. You can go look at that if you want to understand more. 12, it showed 2 different ways using 2 different formulas to find the area of the parallelogram below. Well, parallelogram formula is what? Base times height. What is the base of this parallelogram? 25. How do I find the height? Yeah, I'm going to do this triangle right here. Now, do you agree if this is 135, that across from it's also 135? But do you also agree that's 90 right here? So what would this angle be right here? What is 135 minus 90? 45. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Does that make sense? And if I am going to go from the hypotenuse to a side of a 45, 45, 90 triangle, what am I going to do? Divide by root 2. I need to rationalize, what does that give me for my height? 5 root 2. Have y'all noticed when you're dividing by root 2, you just cut it in half and add a root 2? Have y'all seen that trend yet? Okay. All right. And then multiply. What is 5 times 25? So it's just 125 root 2 yards squared is your answer. Does everybody understand where we got this 45 from? Because it's the same as that, and I just subtracted 90. What other formula can I use here? If this is 135, that's 135. I have a side, an angle, and a side. Do I do 1/2? Why not? It's a parallelogram. You were right. I was just questioning. Yep. So I'm going to do the side times another side times the sine of the angle. So 10 times 25 times the sine of 135. Excuse me. All right. Last one I'm going to go over. Real quick, the answer to this one is 2,827.720. Look at Schoology if you need help with that. Oh, by the way, in Schoology, this is in completed notes. So in Schoology, this review is in completed notes. All right. For number 14, somebody asked about that. It tells you find the area of a rectangle. Remember, area is base times height. If you know the diagonal is 14. What else do I know? Although you're right, it's not going to help me. What did you say over here? Half of the diagonal is 7, but that's not going to help me here. The other diagonal is also 14, but again, do you know the sides though? Nope. Now you could do side angle side for this one, and then you'd have to add them together. I think that's a little bit more complicated than what I'm going to do though. Do you agree that down here is the base?
Yeah.
Do you agree that right here is the height? And do you agree if this is 125, this is also 125? How can I find this angle right here?
Like this.
180 minus what? 125 is 55, and then what? Why divide by 2? Because it's an isosceles triangle. So that angle right there is 27.5. Let me say that again. This is an isosceles triangle. So I subtracted from 125 because these are both 125. And then divide it by 2 because those are the same. Do you see a right triangle here? Do you see that this is opposite and this is adjacent? So to find the base, opposite over, I know my hypotenuse is 14. That's the sine of 27.5 equals opposite over hypotenuse. When B is on top, what do we do? Multiply. And when you put that in Desmos, I would include the b with it. So I would do b equals 14 sine of 27.5. And then how do I find the height? Adjacent cosine of 27.5 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Again, multiply by 14. And I'm going to include the h cosine of 27.5. And then once I get both of those answers, what do I do with them? You can just multiply BH in Desmos, and it gives you 80.277 centimeters squared. Last but not least, it's an equilateral triangle, so I know a lot of people would want to use 1/2 BH or side angle side, but because it says it wants you to find the apothem, you are going to use 1/2 little AP here. And the answer you should get is the square root of 10 centimeters. Again, this is worked out in Schoology if you need it. Your quiz is tomorrow, 30 minutes long. If you did not do this review and you just copied it all with me, I recommend you go redo these problems. Okay? Any other questions?